Hi there. Welcome to Talks on Tuesdays, where we meet every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time or Pacific Daylight Time, whatever we happen to be in at that time. We're also available on YouTube, which we will post on Facebook. And if you would like that link or the link to this chat to be on Zoom, just email us at talksontuesdays333@gmail.com. I'm Mary. It's my turn today, and I'm joined by Chelsea, Julie, Barbara, Gino, Doreen, Louis Therese, Gordy, and Cecilia at the Reconnection. Welcome, everybody. And because it's my turn, I got to choose the topic. And today, for me, based on a number of things, it's how do we face the unknown? The unknown is always coming at us. We can walk into the unknown, or we can stand still and it comes our way. And it's one of those challenges we face. And I found two quotes that I thought I would start by sharing with you. The first one is from H.P. Lovecraft. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. And then from Aldous Huxley, there are things known and there are things unknown. And in between are the doors of perception. So I thought I am on the verge of unknowns as I pack up to go to Europe and see what I find there. I dare not turn on the news or read the newspaper for fear of making the unknown worse than it may be. So I'll just throw that out there to you guys. How are you dealing with the unknown these days? Cecilia, do you want to talk? No. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, no, no, it's like I'm fine. I know in my core that everything is turning out all right. Everything is going to be just fine. And so, yeah, it's the unknown. And yeah, you can go in petrified, terrified, or whatever with all cautions, or you can skip and laugh and sing through it, or you can just embrace it and go, wow, you're another aspect of me. And I love me. So, welcome. Aren't you interesting? I'm curious to find out who you are. Let's go.
That's very heartening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah. I'm always reminded of what Eric Pearl says is, what's the worst that can happen? You can die and then you're okay anyway. He says that a lot. Yeah, Duran.
Yeah, I am kind of off of what Celia, bless you. Kind of off what Celia just said. When I saw the subject today, the first thing I thought of was it came into my awareness a couple of children's books. One's called The Power of Yet, and one's called The Magic of Yet. I don't know if anyone's heard of those. So, one way to go about the unknown is take a deep breath, maybe take a step back, get into the child's perspective. Um, those two books take about 3 minutes to get through, by the way. So if anybody wants some ideas, but just pondering the magic of yet, because yet is a component of the unknown. And if you want to just put all the weirdos aside that you might be watching and looking at, and just go, yeah, yet's pretty magical. It's a whole new perspective.
Yeah, Barb.
Yeah, I like that, Durin, and it's a good reminder. And it brought back for me one of the live and loves that we had years ago when we were all in the Reconnective Life community, and they were talking about the power of yes. And I was thinking
No,
of
yet, Y-E-T.
oh, Y-E-T. Okay. Oh, I
Power of
thought you were
yet.
saying yeah, and then yet. I
No,
was kind of
yet,
wondering.
Y-E-T.
Okay. Well, okay, so then we'll switch and yet. It's like, okay, well, what could happen yet, or what's up yet? So that keeps
That should
things
happen
open
yet.
yet.
Mhm.
And yet And yet,
And
I'm
yet,
going to
and yet.
switch back over to yes and the power of yes. And
There's that too.
it reminded me of a song from I think the 30s or something, where it's like, yes, we have no bananas, and it just is a reminder of the spin, you know. Instead of saying no, we don't have that fruit, it's like, yes, we don't have any, and it's kind of a little bit of a positive spin to it. But
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's as you say, the universe is meticulous in its plan. And you know, a lot of us came out of faith-based religions, but it's a new sort of faith that we embrace when we look at like big picture. And I'm always saying it, what we're seeing is a little strip of the film on the cutting room floor. It might be the ones where the orcs are attacking, the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever. But, if you had the full film, you could see what became before and what comes after and how it ends. And we're just on the cutting room floor for the moment. Yeah. But does anyone have any strategies they use when they're suddenly appalled by something, or they have these sudden panic attacks, or like, I can't believe that happened?
My go-to is I can't, I mean, wow, that just happened. What did I do to make that happen? Because I know I'm responsible for that to be in my life, in my moment. So I know somehow I placed that there for me to learn something. And so now what's my choice? Because I put it in my surroundings. What am I going to learn from it?
And Mary, I could even quote you from few years back. I remember you saying something to the effect of, when I have something terrifying coming at me, my response is, come and get me. The ultimate non-resistance. Do you remember saying that, Mary? Does
I
anybody else remember
remember
Mary saying that?
that.
Yeah.
I remember
Come and get
because
me.
I think I said, if a tiger was coming at me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't scream. I would just open to it. And
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of tigers. There are other things I'm more afraid of, but as I said a few weeks ago, parallel parking. Um, and that's all about ego because I don't want to look foolish on the street.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, Julie, you need to unmute, hun.
Sorry. This made me think of something that happened to me that I may have relayed to you guys already, but I had an appointment that was about an hour and a half away from where we live, and I don't like driving too much. And there's a way to go there that automatically takes you up into the hills, right? And it's windy, and it's called Jerome. It's an adorable little town. Did I already say this? Did I tell this story? Okay.
last
But on
week,
the way, yeah, okay. So, but on the way up, that was, I knew then that I was on my way up here and I didn't want to. And that's where I started the self-talk. And, it's not going to be as bad as you think. You can do this. And I didn't at that point ask myself, what is this? What am I learning from this? But I did at the end saying, okay, what you learned is, look, the universe threw this at you. You could do that. You did it. And now I even sort of a little bit, teeny bit, entertain the thought of doing it again. So yeah, that was yeah. Be
Cool. Yeah, Barb.
um, I also do some self-talk, and like Julie, I was going to an appointment not that long ago. I may have shared it with a couple of you guys. I was it was a part of town where I wasn't familiar with, and there was a ton of traffic, and for some reason, and I think a lot of it was everything that was going on in the country at the same time. But I was just starting to feel a little anxious, which is something that doesn't happen with me very often, and it was unusual. But I just sat there and as I'm driving along, just said, I am love, I am love. The universe is, I am the universe and that kind of thing. And then next thing I knew, that the whole freeway like opened up. There was no cars in front of me. There's no cars. There's a few cars like way behind me because at first I thought, God, maybe the road's closed and I missed it. But there was a few cars way behind me. This normal area where there's a ton of traffic, there was none. And then finally, when I did get to a place where there was traffic, it was I mean, everything was still moving instead of stop and go like it normally would be. And I'm just like, yes, yes, the universe is supporting me. And it was really helpful. So that's kind of what I go back to.
Yeah. Yeah. And, here we are on Earth in meat suits for a reason. And we get lots of lessons every day. And a lot of those, I think, have to do with what's coming at us. It's like this never ending deluge of stuff. And I guess maybe the key to facing it is to not judge it. Let's just see what this turns out to be. We don't know, and that's okay. And as you know, I was a literature major, and in Anglo-Saxon, they have this word weird, W-Y-R-D, which is where we get our modern word weird, but it's how they referred to fate. But instead of fate, it was what comes to pass. They didn't actually have a word fate like the Romans did, but for them, it was what comes to pass. That's destiny. It's not anything like a big monster. It's just what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what it is. We don't need to judge everything, even though we can and we're built to judge. We don't have to judge.
One thing I'm noticing that's kind of cool right now, and I think that's why this is also why it feels a bit chaotic, is even like in people in my own life and on the big picture, which is terrifying everybody. I feel like what is happening is we're all pointing out to each other what we're not aware of. And it's sort of scary to look at, but I think it needs to be part of the process. And for me, if I know that I am the process, then I can't be scary because I am the process. So it's kind of like a vomiting diarrhea process right now. But I'm just noticing myself like really wanting to tell people, the reason we're not communicating is because you're not aware of this. And I think they are trying to tell me the same thing. Well, you're not aware of this. And it all goes back. And I feel like every time I talk here, I always end up on the same word, story. Just receiving stories. Nothing to be afraid of. It's a process.
I love that, Taryn. I think that's great. And I always like to think I go to who do I want to be in this situation? Who do I choose to be? How am I going to respond? Do I want to uplift or do I want to terrify? I want to uplift. I want to encourage. I want to motivate and be optimistic and find the light. I'm going to find the light wherever I am. I don't care what situation it is. I don't care how dark it is. I'm going to find the light. I know there's light. So,
yeah.
Amen.
Thanks for that, Cecilia. And that reminds me too that my hero is Dalai Lama. And if I can see the world with the Dalai Lama gaze, that acceptance and love of everything, he may have his moments, but I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I would share with you a poem I've been working on, and I don't know if it's done yet or not, because there's some poems I've worked on for like 20 years, but I just get fixated a little bit. This is called The Path to Enlightenment. And start where you already are, that place we sometimes call home. You will shortly learn that it is not. Start with your eyes on your feet. and follow the path that opens before you. For now, ignore the horizon. Pause often. You ask why? Because what we see depends on where we're standing. What we know or will ever know depends on where we've been. Take small steps. Looking back, you will see they were enormous. Small steps seem cautious, but they are also very brave. If you have a question, shout it into the wind. You will always hear an answer, even if it sounds like birds or like silence. And remember, with our feet on the ground, which is another kind of horizon, we are embraced by the loving sky as cloud by cloud our home arises.
That's beautiful, Mary.
Well, thank you. I try to put into words what sometimes is just comes in waves. And we've all had that feeling of waves of knowingness that come to us. And that's, for me, that's what helps, is being aware of what's coming at us as a kind of kindness. It can't be anything else.
Yeah, I look at it from a big perspective, knowing that, we've been around for thousands of years, humans, the planet's been around for who knows how long. And this too shall pass, I mean, we're so involved with all the minutia of the day-to-day stuff, and yet when we look at history and things everybody else went through, and here we are plugging along. So it's, that helps me keep things in perspective, and it
Just
makes it.
to, I'm sorry, Barbara. I
Oh
thought you were
no, I
done.
was just gonna finish up by saying it makes me realize that it's not all that important.
Yeah.
In terms of the world scene and all the mayhem that's happening right now, if you look at history again, that these things have happened many times before with different players and different methods. But when evil people, so to speak, rise and create all of this, ultimately they fail. They may succeed for a while, but it's not forever. They can't maintain. So I don't know what we have in stock for us. From my viewpoint, sure, I want everything to be Shangri-La forever. It'd be nice, especially in my older years. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can go out and protest or something if that makes me feel better, and maybe it will help. I don't know. But, I just want to gracefully go through this as much as possible. And I'll look at headlines, for example, but I won't dig deep into it and get into the drama and discuss and argue. No, I mean, I could do that forever. And to some degree, I have for a long time already. So, but I'm at a point now where, nah, hey, my life is too important at this point. I'm not 25. So anyway, that's kind of how I look at it right now.
Yeah. I used to tell my students, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not learning anything. I think that's pretty true.
Yeah.
I saw Louis Trace raising, waving.
Louis Trace? Yes. You have to unmute. Good.
Yeah, I just want to add to what Gino said and everyone. We are part of every situation, and we have a choice of how are we going to handle it. Are we going to feed it fear, or are we going to dissipate it? Because in every situation, we also have our shadow side that we had to face. And if we are not participating and not get all hyped up by all these terrible atrocities that is currently happened, there will be more peace and calm but slowly will infuse with the people, because you can't help it if you watch the news and you see things. After watching that, you are emotionally disturbed for most of the day. And by ignoring that, or not say ignoring, but give it a skip or what a little bit, you have more control over your own life and you can contribute more positive to each and everybody around you. And I believe with that positivity is a great power that will pulsate out to the other people. And quickly, those people who wanted the hierarchy, they will realize they are on the losing side. That's what I would like to say is if there's really some bad stuff, you will know very quickly about it. And as you said, Mary, you are too scared to open the newspapers and things like that. Yeah, why do you need to see the ugliness? They are absolutely out to bring ugliness to the fore. Enjoy your life, hear the birds, and go and drink a cup of coffee or do something beautiful. That's my take.
That's so heartening. Thank you. Gino.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Louis Therese. That's all part of my way of being more and more, I mean, to a much higher level than it's ever been. And I realize that how I am in the world has a ripple effect. You know, look at the ripple effect we're seeing now with all the people that are scared and arguing and living in fear. Huge ripple effect. It's dictating the day right now. But there are some of us that don't do that, you know, and that's what I want to see catch on. We continue doing the inner work, all of that. And the whole reconnective healing, you know, I've been looking through, reading all the books, looking at all the stuff online, all of the things that I paid for I've seen them several times, but now I'm looking at it through with even newer eyes. And I am really seeing things in a keen way that I didn't before. And that's what that whole thing is about, reconnective healing. It's not just ourselves, it's everyone. And I love that. So, yeah. So, you know, Mary, I wish so much goodness for you on your trip. And I trust it's going to be okay. You know, and I think your outlook is going to make a big difference. So just go over there and kick ass. Just kidding.
I think I was going to say pat rather than kick, but I'm not going to do that.
Patting ass? I'm sorry, what?
Well, it's to be France. Come on. It's a stereotype. Yes. Yeah, it will be interesting. And I expect I'll end up back here. I don't know. We'll see what it is. And it's interesting when Louis Therese brought up our shadow sides, our darkness. Shadows only happen when we block the light, and we need to let the light come through. It's there. It's always there. And our job here on Earth is to raise the consciousness of the planet. And if we're in fear, we can't do that.
I just
And
wanted
one way, oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
just one way I think of it is, as I was listening to you all talk just the last several minutes here, is I think of my attention as a type of currency. And so what am I paying into? And if my attention is going into something that wants me to be fearful, that is what's going to come back.
Yeah.
So I watch my my currency of attention.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cindy.
I got a feeling of one of my favorite films ever is Life is Beautiful, and horrors beyond words can be all around you, and it's who you are inside. It's how you live your life, and that's what you draw to you. So no matter what's happening out there, you have no you can't control what other people are doing or saying or how it's moving, but you can only go within and choose to live in the light and be in the light and shine. So shine on wherever you are in whatever situation, and that's the life you're going to live, no matter what's going on around you.
Love that, Cecilia.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, one thing we haven't discussed, or maybe we've been thinking about it, but the unknown can also be like a wrapped gift. We don't know what's inside. It could be just fine, and probably is, because that's the nature of the universe. Louis Trees?
Yes, I do agree with you. It is a gift because all your life experience had prepared you for this step that you are now going to take. It is not that it is a total unexpected. You have your life experience, and if you have paid close attention to it, this will be a gift wrapped for you because you are ready to handle whatever situation, from joy to mediocre to whatever, you will be able to because you had your back life experience to carry you through to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Darren was saying earlier about yet. It's like so much potential. There's so many opportunities, and yeah, I love that. And
Yeah,
again, you just remember that I am love, I am light, I am just all that is, and as we all are. It's beautiful.
Just remember not to say "nyet" with the N before it.
Yeah. Yeah, Julie?
I wrote it in the chat earlier. When speaking for myself, I mean, I said that we really live in the unknown. We never know what's going to happen around the corner. And for me, I'd like to think that I well, address, I don't know if that's the right word, an unknown situation without fear and with curiosity, which I think Cecilia said, and an expectancy and excitement. Something. I mean, again, it's kind of like your however you want to see it, you choose. Your perspective, and turn it around if you have to, but just before it happens, if there's something that you don't know about, it's exciting, it's going to be good. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. All shall be well.
All shall be
All
well. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think we are at the end of our time, but thank you all for
Alrighty.
joining today. It's lovely as always to see you all and the cats as wander through.
Willie.
Willie,
What? Willie.
good to see you, Willie. Good to see those hearts, Cecilia. We'll see you next week. Same time, same terminal.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Have a great
everybody.
day. Bye now.